How's everybody doing? This is the Challenge Hot Takes inaugural podcast, the hottest hot takes on MTV's The Challenge. We are the unofficially official Reddit podcast, and I'm joined here with my co-host, ex-Suicidal Panda, also known as Brian Smith, and I am Joe Puglisi, aka Psychopugs on the Reddit and most other places, as goes for my pal Brian here.
Indeed.
So, this episode, first off, let's just get a little bit of a cover of this before we get into the details of that and what we did today. But this episode in general really hurt my my dreams of the Tony Hunter final. And really all the momentum that I was feeling towards the show over the past two episodes, two or three, however much it was that Hunter and Tony were really playing the game.
I was generally surprised at how quick everything was going along so slowly for the entire season. And then out of nowhere, it's just these two back-to-back episodes where boom, 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 next thing you know, 4 people are in the final. We go from, how many people were in the house last episode? 12 to 14 to... Now, all of a sudden, 4 people are in the final, and 2 more spots to go tomorrow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
in 2 episodes.
Not to mention that it's a total chalk, and
well, we get to that.
Yes, we'll talk about that when when the time comes. But first, me and Brian here completed our ritualistic tradition where we watch challenge episodes before we actually watch the challenge, because I, for anyone who's unaware, is an extremely new fan of the challenge. As of maybe July? June?
It was May.
Really?
You kind of half paid attention to Invasion a little bit. Not enough to really get a grasp of anything that was going on. Enough to make you like Camilla, though.
Yeah, that's important, everybody. I am a Camilla fan. In fact... I'm just going to get it out there because we're less than 3 minutes in, and you should probably know, so you know if you want to click away, that Camilla is my favorite competitor currently and of all time.
Yeah, well, that's why we are the Hottest Takes podcast, because that is probably the only person you will hear that still has this opinion as of episode 15 of the Challenge Dirty 30.
Yes, this is post-Leroy Camilla era. And I still stand by my slightly racist babe. I'm not saying I agree with her.
Also
her
fraudulent.
statements.
Also fraudulent. Don't forget about that. She's a fraudulent and racist.
I was gonna get there. She doesn't pay her the money due to her Instagram challenge winners. I don't know what to call them.
The Camillinator challenge.
Yeah, so I guess they are challenge winners.
Which she's still doing, by the way. I don't know why anybody is giving money to this girl at this point.
Yeah,
but she's still somehow allowed to do this.
I saw the next season of it. Are they on a third?
Yeah, she's done 3 parts of it.
Oh wow, what a girl! Is there any announcement on whether she's paid the first?
I think it got cleared up somehow through some. I don't know. I stopped paying attention to it, honestly.
Yeah, I did too. I actually unfollowed her recently because she posts too much, and I don't like my feed getting filled up.
Not staying loyal at all.
Hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. I even unfollowed my second.
I follow
favorite...
people on Instagram that I don't even like anymore on the show, like Kayla.
Look, I've unfollowed the girl that I think is the prettiest girl in.
Because she found out that she was a hippie.
That is not the reason.
Yes, that is not interesting at all.
All right, her Instagram was extremely boring. Christina LeBlanc is who we were talking about, and I unfollowed her.
Old.
I unfollowed her when I went through the trouble of requesting a follow to get her, and she.
I don't think I ever had to request a follow for anybody.
Yeah, I had to request a follow for her, and I promptly unfollowed her.
But getting back to what we were saying about the season that we were rewatching,
right? As a new fan, we have been. Brian has been showing me all the previous seasons, so I could get to learn players and older competitors and stuff. And we just finished the last 2 episodes of Battle of the X's 2. Yes. So I've officially, and I've seen Free Agents. So I've officially seen from the Dirty 30 to season 25.
In reverse order, pretty much. Although we did watch Free Agents first. which was also a very chalky final, but we won't talk about
First, as in between. We skipped X's
We
too.
skipped
It
X's
wasn't.
too,
It
went
wasn't
to
the
free
very
agents,
first.
then went back to X's 2 after that. X's 2, one of my all-time favorite seasons. I absolutely love it. I don't know if you agreed with me on that.
Well, X's 2 was really good until they boned Wes.
Yeah, I think. Well, everyone knows how Wes got completely hosed on this season, and he was the only person to not get a second chance, unfortunately. But you know what, Teresa, who is my second favorite challenge girl of all time. I think everybody who's seen me post on the Reddit enough knows who number 1 is. Did get a second chance, and she was great that season. And she whipped Nani's ass.
Oh, right. I was going to say.
Which is what we watched tonight.
Right. And so that completed our weekly tradition. And
however, the final was very bad.
Oh, it was not. I started watching the baseball game.
I actually don't understand. People hated on the Invasion final a lot. The Invasion final was 10 times better than this crap.
I don't remember much of the Invasion final, but I do remember them running up some stairs and stuff.
Like the format of the Invasion final wasn't good, but the people in it were good. I know Camilla was making it tough to actually watch her. She was so bad during the whole thing with her attitude, and Corey was like.
Hey,
Corey was limping through and still somehow tried to make excuses for himself for being the worst person there by far.
Corey screwed over my slightly racist babe out of her second win. So I'm not cool with that, even though I like Corey. I've forgiven him, but I'm still not on speaking terms. If I knew him, I wouldn't be on speaking terms about that moment.
Do you think they dragged the season out as long as they could in the beginning to give Corey as many episodes? Because, like, he was not even in the upper half of guys this season, and he got 10 episodes.
What, of Dirty 30?
Yes.
Did he really get that many?
He got eliminated. Him and Marie got way more screen time than they had any right getting this season, if you think about it. I mean, Corey, I guess. Corey actually did. But in terms of staying longer in the game, neither of them did not deserve to stay that or to get that many episodes of airtime. Really, when you think about it.
I agree with the Marie statement of that, but maybe I'm just biased towards my love of Corey and the bushwhacking.
Corey was the MVP of the first 6 or 7 episodes.
Absolutely. Episode 2, legend.
Yeah, and just same way as Hunter's been the MVP of the last 4 or 5 episodes here.
Right.
Which is crazy because on Invasion he was a nobody in the background for the most part, except for the competitions. He was always great at the competitions.
All right, so we are starting here at episode 15.
Actually talking about the show that.
So, what we're going to quickly do is just breeze through some really big moments that happened in the season. You can hear some of our takes on them. So, Brian, I'll let you handle big moments. Try to make them chronological. If you mess up,
the first big thing that happened was Ashley leaving.
True.
But I mean, I think at this point, if you can't understand why she left, then you're just an idiot. That's all I have to say.
I like to say that it was warranted why she left with her father and just not being in the right state of mind and whatever.
Yeah, people don't seem to realize that she had a sick family member as well, and her father ended up recently passing away.
But I stand by, if you quit the season, you should never be invited back to the show.
Well, that's just not.
I stand by that. And TJ has done that to other people.
Yes, but TJ was defending her on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because TJ's not in the house with her.
Because
he just sees her
TJ
on
can't make up his dang mind.
He knows how much Ashley puts into this when she actually is there competing. That's why he didn't care.
Well, I'm just standing by the strict rule where there of no exceptions. If you quit, you're out.
Now that completely changed the game because Ashley was one of the best girls on the season.
That is true. It opened up the doors, and she got replaced with the much less athletic,
but much more attractive Brianna.
All right, that's an opinion. I guess I would agree with you.
You would definitely agree with me.
But
they also have something in common, if you know what I'm talking about.
I think I have an idea. So the next big thing, I guess, would be in episode 2.
Well, there was the Purge. Don't forget about the Purge. Right. See, the thing about the Purge is that the way it was set up, two decent competitors were going to go home in that no matter what. And it just happened to be Darrell and Amanda. It's just the way it worked out. I mean, I love Amanda, but I'm not going to cry. I wasn't going to cry over that when it happened.
Right.
She was going to be a target anyway with Ashley out, so.
And I guess then I just want to talk about the Redemption House.
No, what was interesting is that Darrell even if Darrell had stayed in the game, like he just would have been another. Like honestly, it was not a big deal that Darrell went out early. Like it wasn't his presence wasn't like not felt throughout the season, right? Like Darrell didn't need to be there. The guy side was going to be really strong regardless.
You're right. Honestly, taking out like one of the
Like,
huge studs
yeah.
was kind of what they needed to start an early thin. Whether it was him, CT, Jordan, doesn't matter. Just
And like
one
by
of
the
them
time
needed to
like
go.
ammo was out, every guy in the house was really good at that point.
Yeah.
Besides maybe Dario.
All right. So then we have the Redemption House incident.
With Shane and Simone.
Yes, the Shane and Simone incident. That whole episode, that is the best episode.
It
Is
was
that the
just all
first?
the
Is that the
cutaways.
first episode I ever watched live, or was it episode 3? Was the first?
That was the first episode of you ever watched live.
Oh my! It's still the best episode I've ever seen.
That episode was like half of the redemption challenge, or half of just them being in the redemption house.
Maybe it felt great because it was the
Nonsense.
first one I watched ever live, but man, oh man, because it was Corey and Camilla show for the first half, which is just my two favorites. And then the nonsense in the redemption house.
That's another very forgotten thing this season. They banged in a bush once.
Yeah, they're bushwhackers.
Yep.
And he also got the Nani bonus right there.
Because he kissed Anissa in the same
Yeah,
episode.
he hooked up with 2 people in the same episode.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, good on Corey, I suppose, if that's what you're into. And of course we had the Shane and Simone. Just I guess we won't touch that much.
Yeah. The cameras weren't there to catch it.
Yeah. I guess I just want to quickly state that I want to see. I like him a lot. This is something pretty bad that happened, but I love his personality, so I just really want to see him on the show again. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I want to see Shane Reigns.
But
again,
he has major issues
because I love the Reigns brothers.
The show is bad for him, really bad. It's bad for Tony too. It's bad for a lot of these people, honestly, over the years.
All right. So then there was kind of just a lot of blah for the next couple episodes, if I remember right. What's the next big moment?
Well, oh God, Derek H. Law, Derek H. Brianna. Jenna beat Kayla beat Jenna, which is funny because now here they are both in this episode at the very end.
All right, so yeah,
that was way back in ancient history.
Yeah, when Jemmy
double crossed them, and remember that they were supposed to get revenge on Jemmy after that.
Yeah.
That was a pretty fantastic storyline that lasted all of 2 minutes after Jenna came back into the house, and then it was quickly dropped after that because when everyone realized that why would you ever want to get Jemmy out of the game?
Mm-hmm. And so then where else? So that's about episode 4-ish.
By the way, Jemmy's performances. Well, actually, no, we'll talk about it later because we're gonna get through the redemption. So, and Jemmy's was actually still in the beginning of this.
Oh,
episode.
okay. So I guess the next big moment would be the first redemption.
The first redemption was great.
And that is still the first 2 redemption challenges were way better than the third.
Yeah,
I think.
Definitely.
But there's one important thing here that cannot be glossed over, and it is the absolutely amazing sequence of events between Darrell and Tony, and the moment where Tony thinks of his children as he's being tossed over the railing, and gives it his everything, does it for his kids, and eliminates the 4-time champ Darrell in what I have stated is the greatest moment in challenge history.
In the last 5 years.
In the last 5 years, because I haven't seen anything further. But I'd be willing to say, hot take right here, that is the greatest moment in challenge history. No competition.
See, I think the people are really reaching on this when trying to just say Tony sucks, he just got lucky. Well, you know what? That was if you watch it again, his whole plan the entire time was to grab his life jacket and throw him over. Darrell should have had a better strategy than to just it's on Darrell too that he lost. It wasn't just all luck. It obviously the way gravity works, right? If one guy is off the platform first, he's gonna hit the water first. So like that's just how it ended up playing out, and Darrell hit the water first. Like it's not Tony absolutely did earn that win, I think. And he also beat Derek H too.
Yeah, don't forget about that. It gets overshadowed by how amazing that sequence of events through the editing, really.
The problem with like these new people is like they have so little chance to show what they've got that now everyone thinks Derek H is a shit competitor. But I could easily see him coming back and like doing decent on a challenge.
Right.
But I mean, he hasn't been talked
And
about for months, and until he was very briefly brought up at the end of this episode.
yeah. So where else? Where does
Also,
this lead us next?
don't forget about the girls' elimination that day.
No, it doesn't matter.
Only
Jenna
the
and
only
Amanda.
good female elimination there has been all season.
All right, that's a fair point.
Unsurprisingly, was Amanda versus Jenna, because Amanda is awesome, and she worked her ass off to try to get Jenna off this thing. Jenna is like 5'9", about 20 pounds on her, and it just didn't work out. No, whatever.
All right, so I guess then the next big thing would be Redemption Challenge 2. I kind of feel like there was just a lull.
Yeah, Hunter beat Corey.
There was the ammo incident.
Ammo lost at Jordan. It's weird that Jordan was even in elimination at that time. And then, yeah, there was a second redemption, which Nicole, again, one of my favorites this season, not one of your favorites. Worked their ass off, but it's hard to do good in these things when you're that small. Even in eating challenges, it works against you. So, and
that's where my boy Corey, the puking champion.
He is the puking champion.
All-time great, right there. The greatest puker you will ever see on the challenge. Was eliminated there, so that
Hunter beat Corey twice.
Yes, he did. Even though they're buds, no hard feelings, I assume. Yeah. And what was where do we go from there?
I guess we can talk about the third redemption. I guess we can just talk about this episode, because what happened between there?
Well, then you can talk can talk about the Hunter Tony alliance after they sent Tony in.
So, first off, Nelson gets DQ'd, right?
Right. Hunter's got no allies.
Low key, this actually helped Hunter's game.
Because he had to go rogue, kind of deal,
because Hunter in that second challenge, that straight to redemption challenge was 3 teams of 5, right? Mm-hmm. So there's no way that would have worked with 16 people. So it would have been something else. I think Hunter and Nelson would have been big targets to go straight to redemption still, if there were still 2 of them as a group. So yeah, so Hunter on his own was less of a threat enough to where they wanted to get rid of CT over him. That's how I think it ended up working out.
Gotcha.
And I mean, he still ended up having to win an elimination against Leroy, which is damn impressive.
Very.
Leroy never loses physical eliminations.
That was an awesome elimination.
Yeah, it was. Leroy felt the thunder.
That was good.
And then the girls, Jenna pissed off Camilla, but I mean...
And now...
we haven't even talked about the racist stuff.
Oh, right. Did we jump over that?
I don't really want to talk about it, to be honest. I feel like the less said about that, the better. I feel like that's been discussed enough.
You're right. It has been beaten to death on the interwebs and through the episodes, and that little post 30-minute episode that they did too. Those
were all actors.
Was it? I don't care.
The crowd that were asking questions were actors.
So basically, yeah, she said some bad stuff to Leroy, and it pretty much was the final straw for. It was pretty much the final straw for pretty much everybody that was ever a fan or a half fan or a sort of fan of Camilla. And I'm last of a dying breed.
I mean, the dying breed is mostly annoying 20-year-olds on Twitter, but they have a little cult that they love Cara and Camilla, and they always stand.
Well, where does that make me stand as
you're not
as a
nearly
21-year-old?
You're not nearly as
I got 1 year on him.
Overbearing as them. At least you can admit that she's not a good person.
Yeah, I just like her. I just like the drama she adds to the show.
Those people are just delusional.
She's never not entertaining. She is perfect for reality TV.
Well, you're probably never going to see her again, so
enjoy
it while it lasts.
Probably not.
The rest of the way.
All right, so into the episode. A whole, wow.
The episode didn't have a name.
Did it not?
No, it was just called episode 15, according to the guide, at least.
I remember actually reading the Wikipedia guide, and I swore a couple days ago, and I swore I saw an episode name.
Well, on the live discussion thread, it says just Dirty 30.
Well then, we'll call it episode 15 for now.
Episode 15. It started off with the Banana Man himself and Brittany entering the Redemption House together, waking up Cara Maria. There was, and what was it, Jordan, who was saying let me pull up this stuff here. Jordan was making some really stupid comments about how the Redemption House has more champions than the people in the main house. Well, no shit.
More combined total.
More combined total champions, right?
Championships.
Well, no shit, because there's only 10 people. There's 10 people in the redemption house. There's only 7 people in the main house. They better have more championships.
Yeah.
Not to mention, 2 of the guys in the main house are Hunter and Tony, who had only been on the last like couple of seasons. And Jenna and Kayla, for that matter, is only her second season. Tori's only her first season. So obviously,
of course.
The only way it could have been even close is if Bananas was still in the main house because it was 6 wins.
But
Veronica is actually a 3-time champ, so that completely skews the numbers.
Oh, come on. That was such a BS argument that he had.
Yeah.
It's not even, it's just like, what is that statement?
So, next up we got Jemmy was actually making a very interesting point. She said, ever since Bananas stole that money from Sarah, it has been all downhill.
That it was interesting, because then I literally started backtracking in my mind, and it really has. Yes. She's actually right about this. Like, I thought she was just, talking out her ass. Like, she's totally right.
The invasion format was a little tricky. I mean, he lost to Darrell. He had to go into that elimination against them. He didn't really have much. He would have had to go against somebody good regardless. But Bananas has, statistically speaking, week to week, has not been good this season. Has he won a challenge? When was the last time he won a challenge?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I think he won one or 2 challenges all season. He's never been in the winner's circle.
Right.
And somehow, he never gets voted in still.
Because he's good at that politicking game, man.
Like, it came down to him, a 50-50 flip of a card between him and Tony for him to actually even go into an elimination this season.
Yeah, pretty much. So he usually skates by.
But not only has his like, luck not been on his side, but he's lost a step as a competitor. You can't argue that.
That's true.
Because Banana should have been able to win. Like, Hunter's been far better than him as a competitor this season. Hunter's been the best. Hunter was the best guy besides CT all season, I think. Yeah. At least up to this point. Maybe even better. I mean, he's won eliminations. CT's dominated the challenges. Yeah. But Hunter has all around done the most out of anyone, I think, at this point.
Yeah, he's the man.
Let's see. So we went back to the main house where Tony is just chilling.
That a boy.
And it's crazy. So this was crazy to realize. Tony was in that alliance, right? In that they had that, I guess it was called the Red Room Alliance, which was like Tony, Dario, Jordan, Bananas, Leroy, CT, all these big guys, and somehow Tony managed to be the last man standing in this room.
Absolutely incredible. And
he was also not in that room for a few days back in like episode 4 or 5 when he lost to Ammo. And here he is.
Who did he beat? Because he went into another elimination.
He beat Dario.
Dario was what it was.
I feel like Dario didn't just want to.
But he also beat Darrell.
He also beat Darrell.
Dario had checked out, man.
Dario did not want to be there.
Episode 4, he was checked out, dude.
Dario should have taken a dive for somebody this season if he didn't want to be there so bad.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the most invisible performances I've ever seen on a challenge.
I don't think
someone that made it that far.
I don't think he's gonna get a call back.
I don't think he wants to get a call back.
That's true. Like, he's like trying. It's like someone that like doesn't want to work at a job anymore. So instead of like quitting, they like do poorly so they can try to get fired so they can collect.
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly what people were saying, was that like he's just sticking around there because I guess you get paid more. I'm not really sure that what the truth of this is, but you get paid more the longer you're in the house.
Maybe you get like a bonus.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they just get their base salary or something.
But, like, I mean, if I was production, I would have fined him for not providing it all to the show.
Fined him?
Yes.
It's true. You're paying him to not perform.
I think the punishment was the edit they gave him of him being... and people always making fun of him for sleeping too much. That was the punishment.
That is.
For him providing nothing to the show.
That just, like, it was like their gag.
Yeah. I mean, CT... went along with it too, but like even in like last week when they were going through everybody in the redemption house and they just casually go to like a 2-second clip of Dario sleeping in a bed.
It's true.
So anyway, next up we got Tori was talking with Jenna and Kayla, I believe, about Brittany and how she face stabbed her and not backstabbed her, and then somebody, I think Kayla said, I'd rather be face stabbed than backstabbed.
I believe it was. I believe it was Jenna.
I'd take a face stab any day, or something
like that.
Jenna. That was a very odd comment.
I believe.
But it is definitely from Jenna then, because Kayla wouldn't say something like that.
How do you know?
I'd take a face stab any day. What is? That wasn't the only weird thing that Jenna said this episode. Meanwhile, this is actually pretty cool. They cut back and forth between Tori and Brittany talking shit about each other in two completely different houses. And Brittany is just going off on her. She called her a slut bucket, which, hot take, might not be that far from the truth.
Who's she talking about?
Tori.
Yeah. We will see. We will see.
I've heard a lot of things. I've heard a lot of things off the show that suggest that this comment might be true.
I was thinking about this earlier, and to clarify, we're speaking of a rumor that Jordan and Tori hook up. But I was thinking about this. I don't think they're gonna have room to air this. I think it's gonna go unaired.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna go unaired.
Okay, so
unless there's actually there could be some sort of hotel scene where they're on location at the other spot or something.
And by if it doesn't air, by my logic that I've always followed, is if it didn't air, it didn't happen.
So that means that you don't think Shane hit Simone? Is what you're saying?
No, it didn't air.
Okay, yeah, that's.
I'm gonna take that back real quick. Just that one. That
so
one probably
didn't say the N-word to anybody.
Well, it didn't air. She didn't say the N-word on TV. Those were only what people said. People said she used the N-word, but on air she only used the word black in a derogatory nature.
Yes, which is almost as bad.
It's not good, no.
Which pretty much is why people know that the N-word stuff was definitely true, because she said that too.
You can't say it's definitely true. It's a rumor. It's a rumor.
God, ridiculous. Anyway, CT had a great toast here where he said something along the lines of "Here's to us, but if you fuck me over, here's to me," or something like that.
I don't know. It was weird, cool. But it was actually really good. It was It was just as good, if not better, than every before the season starts bananas toast.
Oh yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
And then there were some very convenient fireworks that went off.
I was like, dude,
that's not the first time that there's been fireworks in the background.
I was like, that was really convenient, and they're all out there so entertained to watch. I was like, Challenge Production set that shit up.
Maybe they're just a thing in Colombia where they shoot fireworks off in this one spot every few days or something. I don't know.
You never know. We don't live there.
Then we started to groove a little bit because Bounce Back by Big Sean came on as they rolled up to the Redemption Challenge.
Is that what the song is? I was just grooving because it was fun.
Well, you don't know that song?
Nope. Come on. I knew the intro of the guy talking, but I didn't know the.
Good song choice as well, because these people are in fact bouncing back.
And
not many of them actually did.
Also, not only was it because it was a redemption challenge, but they were also using some very bouncy hammers that were bouncing off of them and bouncing back. So you know what? It had a double meaning there.
So TJ explains that you're gonna stick your head through this thing, decipher some sort of code that's on the wall a decent distance away, come back, open the lock, and solve a puzzle. The puzzle seemed very easy, and they were cheating off each other.
Yes, they were. I really think first place, CT or
honestly,
somebody.
the first people to get it open won.
Pretty much.
The three winners were the three people that just opened it the fastest. And it seemed to be the puzzle didn't even seem to be that big of a factor at all.
If I was CT,
it wasn't an equalizer.
CT won first, right? Of the guys.
Yes.
I would have just absolutely kicked my foot right through my picture if I was CT.
I think he was. I think he was already he was on the way far other side. Jordan was on the end.
Right.
But we didn't even get into this. Two guys are coming back from the redemption house. So thanks, Nelson. You screwed it. You screwed the entire game up.
You really screwed us over on our Hunter and Tony.
I will stand by this, and this is probably this. It's probably not that common of an opinion, but Nelson, I think, would have made the final if he didn't do what he did.
I was thinking about that. If he didn't, punch Derek, which I believe we did accidentally skip
because
over.
Nelson, way back when, Nelson did beat Hunter this season.
But what I was going to say is that if he did that, it would be easy to say, and I think Hunter might have said something about it. It was oh, you really messed up my game, Hunter. It could have been me, you, and Tony right now, still here or something. But you don't know that. We don't know what would have happened, what could have happened. Yeah. He could have been the one facing Derek, not Bananas.
Yeah.
You don't know.
That was a good so, I would have liked to see Nelson beat Derek.
So, really, you really do not know. I'd like to think that, but it's up in the air.
Nelson, I think, going back, quick talk about Nelson. I think Nelson's a future champ. Just throwing it out there.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely.
I like to think so, but you know,
He almost won last season.
That hot-headed nature, man.
He's 5-1 in eliminations.
He is. It's true. I like to think that Hunter will be too, but his brains might hold back his bronze.
We haven't seen him really have a chance to redeem himself in that aspect.
Right.
Like people he was really bad in that one challenge, but like you got to give him a chance to. If you do it if you fail more than once, then it becomes a recurring thing. But you can't just decide because of one thing where he looked really dumb that he just is no good at puzzles for the rest of his challenge career. People actually do get better at things. People.
They learn.
Evident by Cara Maria's entire run of like her challenge career, where she progressively got better each season to where now she's one of the best girls on the show, and also one of the biggest bitches, which we'll get to in a few minutes here.
Not a hot take.
Not a hot take at all.
Just
a straight up fact. Yes. So what else do we get here? So this whole challenge, they tried to make a big deal out of them using, I'm gonna call them wax sticks because that's what Jenna called them, or hammers. I don't know, but they looked like they were rubber toys.
Yeah, they were.
Didn't actually
they were.
seem to have an impact on the challenge.
At least on the women's challenge.
Yes, these girls basically didn't even do anything interesting.
They weren't trying.
Yeah, they weren't. They
didn't with the hammers, like they were not trying to do it.
Cara Maria was quick to open her lock. I think Brittany and Jemmye also opened their lock. I didn't even see Anissa doing anything. I don't think she even got.
Veronica was stuck too.
Veronica was really. I don't think she could see. That wasn't good. Poor girl. That is really disappointing that this is how Veronica went out. She was really good this season.
And isn't she known for being good at puzzles?
Yeah, she didn't even get a chance to try the puzzle. She had to decipher a code from a distance, and she just couldn't see it.
Right.
She just couldn't get it. But
also,
she blamed she blamed Brittany was doing some weird singing while she was trying to solve her puzzle.
Yeah.
And that was somehow causing her to lose her concentration as she was reading the numbers.
Yep.
But Cara Maria, surprisingly, very anticlimactically, just solves the puzzle and wins.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone expected Cara to come back anyway. Even Jenna was saying last week how like, oh yeah, Cara's probably coming back, so it's going to be you two against us three. And that's exactly how it played out. Again, this episode was very chalky.
Extremely chalky, with then CT and Jordan.
And then the guys' elimination was pretty much the exact same thing.
CT being the first, of course, to eat some major chalk there.
Dario was cowarding in his little rabbit hole there.
He was the only one that was really deciding to duck.
Dario definitely did not try in this.
No.
There's no way Dario wanted to go back in that house.
No.
Not that he would have won anyway, but I mean, and by the time CT pretty much murdered the thing. Yeah, I think that they should have made this puzzle a little bit. It should have been like some sort of like math or something that you had to actually think.
Not a freaking picture, dude.
It's just a picture that you have to put together. It's like that and tangrams to me are kind of like more random than actually having to use like your brain and being smart. So I didn't really like the Sudoku puzzle last season was really cool, I thought, but this is just kind of silly. So Tori, I think Jordan won before even Bananas got to the lock. Again, Bananas was pretty bad all season, honestly, and he wasn't good in this challenge either. And at least he admitted it.
Yeah, Bananas did get to the lock. I remember him opening it up and then picking up his box and throwing it and like. But
he wasn't even. He still wasn't even close.
He was done for.
So CT and Jordan win. They're back in the house. No real surprises there, honestly. So that big auto redemption twist of getting rid of CT and Cara, both of them came back, as it was pretty predictable, honestly.
Yeah, it really was.
Leroy hoped Hunter actually won, which was actually really cool, I thought. Good endorsement there. And then Cara says that she'd have the redheaded fury or something like that, but she'd actually hear people out this time.
This lasted a very long time, I would say. So
they go out to this fancy dinner, where Cara just cannot let anything go.
And there it went.
Back in the house now, Cara.
It was about 45 seconds of screen time that she was not going to let go of this redheaded fury.
Yep. And so she's just yelling at everybody, saying how
she's not even a redhead.
No, she's not naturally a redhead, But anyway,
she's just a brunette.
Yeah. And you didn't even seen her on challenges earlier when she actually was a brunette.
No, I haven't.
You've only seen her as a redhead.
Yep.
And you knew that, so. I honestly don't even remember the specifics of what she said here, but it was just so off. She was just being so awful. Oh my God.
She was being terrible. But I do remember Kayla. Am I right in when I said
you know
Kayla
what?
took the first shot, didn't she?
You know what? Camilla and Cara said the most ridiculous thing of all time. They created a monster.
3 monsters.
They created 3 monsters. Okay, first of all, this is Jenna's 5th season. You're not creating a monster in her.
Yeah.
She is who she is at this point. We all know that. Secondly, easier for you to create a monster in Kayla when she had to win 2 eliminations on her own and the last 2 or 3 challenges to even get here. And then Tori has not even been associated with them at all outside of the last week or so. So how do they create a monster? They're idiots and they're delusional.
They're delusional.
I mean, we knew Camilla was. Camilla's been like that way for season, but Cara seemingly is rubbed off onto Cara now, and she's just as bad, except for the racist stuff.
Oh, she's worse than Camilla. I can't stand that woman.
You haven't for a while. You didn't like her on Free Agents at all.
Oh my God, that was the worst. Oh my God, Cara and Laurel. They just needed to leave my screen, and they never would. They just didn't. Nope. They never did. Did Cara make it to the final?
No, she hurt her hand.
That's right. Yeah. That was the best news I got all season. Of course, I don't endorse an injury. I wasn't happy that she got injured. I was just happy she was off my screen.
So Jordan, who's becoming a hero of mine for not taking this crap from Cara, basically tells her you're not helping these girls are much cooler than you and you're not helping them. So back the fuck off. That was cool. And it basically proves that Jordan and Cara, I don't know where this, they've been on seasons together and just never talk, but their rivalry really picked up in the last few episodes here.
That's true.
And
Jordan has always been, I can't say always, has been since I was this the first season that I actually saw him?
No, you see him on...
Was he on Rivals 3? He wasn't on Rivals 3 and he wasn't on Invasion.
No. So yeah, I guess it was, yeah.
It was before I started seeing the other ones. Through picking up through the other seasons, X's, and was he on Free Agents and stuff? And then through this. He has probably become my favorite big name veteran. As I do not like a lot of veterans. I really don't.
Yeah.
But Jordan is just about the only huge star veteran that I can enjoy. Yeah, him and Wes. I can't forget about Wes.
Everyone loves Wes. Come on. The only downside, honestly, to Jordan is that he works with bananas. That's really it.
That is,
and that seems to be. So part of me wants to think that that's some sort of deep seated ego thing with him, where he just wants to beat bananas in a final. He just wants to do it.
I can absolutely
because that's what he wanted to do on X's more than anything.
Yeah.
He was against them throwing them in the last elimination. He just wanted to beat bananas in the final.
Exactly what he wanted.
But I mean, I don't think he was complaining when they took the final check home at the end. And Jay and Jenna didn't even make it up halfway up the mountain.
True that. They didn't even make it a quarter way up. I don't think they didn't start the ascend.
I wrote my notes here. Cara is back and still complaining, so I think it continued on later on in the night when they were at the house. I believe Jenna tried to get involved in a conversation and quickly turned away and ran.
Oh, that was great. That was in the Kayla and Cara talk where they just kind of talked out that it is what it is. We're late in the game. There's pretty much, you're stuck with your ally. I got my ally. We're just going to see how this rolls.
I forgot to mention, while that whole argument was going on at the restaurant, they cut to a clip of Hunter just being like, I'm just trying to have a good night. And he was wearing a sling just out of nowhere. His arm is in a sling. Mm-hmm. And we later find out that we actually should have paid attention more to this. Something about his fingers that he couldn't move to where that required him to be in a sling. But Hunter, he ain't giving up, and they weren't gonna let arguably the best guy all season go out this way. So they let him compete with his injured arm.
Not exactly safe. I can't stand by that, but I also just loved seeing it, that he had so much heart that he was gonna go compete with one hand. I mean, really one arm, because Jordan's been competing with one hand for a while. But, but with one arm pretty much tied behind his back almost.
You know what's funny is Cara actually had a very similar thing happen to her on Free Agents, and you just could not care less.
Oh, man.
You would rather see her break both of her arms, probably. Both her hands.
No, as I said earlier, I don't endorse, her getting injured. I just wanted her off my screen.
Well, that was an easy way out then.
It made it easier for her to leave
So
my screen, for sure.
So here's the big twist of the season. So first of all, these people they don't seem to mention how like anything can really happen on a dime this season. So any alliance could just get thrown out the window like that, which is exactly what happened here. So TJ drops the bomb on them finally. Been waiting all season for this. That they will be playing for their share of $1 million. Yeah. I thought of that before Tori said it. Just for the record. I knew somebody was going to say it on the show.
Just going to clarify that. Ex-Suicidal Panda thought of it first, Tori.
Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people did too. I'm saying is I thought of that before.
Hot take. Ex-Suicidal Panda, a.k.a. Brian Smith, was the first person of Challenge fandom to think of this
think of the
very
Dr. Evil reference.
Yes, the first man.
Actually, you know what? Amanda made an Austin Powers reference in the first episode. So Tori is not the first person to make an Austin Powers reference this season either.
I can't believe you remember that.
It's called Jenna a Fembot, which is actually very true. But anyway, so he announces that there will be a second purge, which was teased. So I mean, it shouldn't have been a surprise to anybody, honestly. If you actually watched it in the trailer, them say there's going to be a second purge. So throw politics out the window at this point.
I didn't remember. I don't remember if I even watched the mid-season video.
So throw politics out the window. You got to compete and you got to win basically to get your spot, and that's all it came down to. I actually kind of like that.
Yeah.
Although the problem is
I like that it was a double team. And then by the last round, it became individual.
I feel like they should have done maybe two more, like another thing that was individual. Because the issue was, so it's funny how this worked out. So the teams were Tori and Jordan, Cara and CT, which should have been no surprise, Derek and Camilla,
Tony and
Jenna, and randomly out of nowhere, Kayla and Hunter, who have hated each other all season, suddenly they're working together. And I said that Camilla should have gotten Tony as punishment.
But she
ended up getting one of the better guys, unfortunately.
And she still got punished. She didn't get punished. She just didn't win.
She got the third best. Listen, Hunter with his broken cast.
If you ain't first, you last.
Still wasn't the worst person in this challenge. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't even remember what. So they had to roll some sort of box.
Yeah, they had to roll a box. Then they had to crowbar it open, which two male competitors had some trouble with. Then they had to pull the ropes out of them, put them on some poles to add up to a point that would make a triangle, so then you could dig for X marks the spot, really was triangle marks the spot, and then you would dig up a puzzle piece, and then below it was a lower puzzle piece bag, I should say, and then you had to go split off, and now you were solo competitors, and you had to go make a puzzle.
Yeah, well, you remember way more of that than I did. That's good. Which
I can impress you sometimes.
Which unfortunately does not work out in the favor of Jenna and Kayla, because they were stuck with Tony and One-Armed Hunter on this challenge, virtually giving them no chance of actually coming in the top.
Did Tony break open his crate after Hunter?
Yes, he did.
Did Kayla open the case?
No, Hunter broke it open with his. I believe Hunter broke it open.
I thought
it might have been a duo effort. The point of the matter is that Hunter and Kayla were able to open their box before Tony and Jenna. And Hunter has one arm.
Right.
One arm.
Got it.
So, and it's funny because we were actually praising Tony earlier in the episode. Now we're shitting on him.
I can't defend.
But out of these four guys, Tony was clearly the weak link.
100%.
Yeah.
I still wanted to see him in the final.
We still might.
Maybe so.
Probably unlikely.
It's not going to happen. It's going to be Derek. Fucking chalk.
All chalk.
All chalk
all the way. So
I guess that leads us
there was some very odd editing during this whole thing where TJ didn't actually explain the rules in full, and then when they would cut back to him explaining the rules when they got to each checkpoint, which I kind of like because I usually tend to just zone out when TJ explains the rules. And
I never pay attention.
Yeah, so
dude.
that I actually appreciated that. What else? Oh, so when it comes down to the final, CT is the first one done. CT, for whatever reason, just destroys Tangram puzzles. Mm-hmm. He just makes them his bitch. So he wins like by far pretty much,
And then
and earns his spot in the final. CT's in 2 finals in a row now.
And then it was Kara.
I believe Kara. Yep.
It was Kara.
Yep.
So the 2 people that were both immediately sent in without losing an actual competition were then the first 2 to come back in their heats. And I guess Kara was the only one. And then we're the first 2 to make it into the final, completing their puzzle.
Yeah.
So it just, pretty impressive by them, but chalk.
I didn't want either of them to make the final.
Absolutely not.
Especially not Kara.
I was okay with CT because he's kind of cool.
The thing with CT is that I think he's still like him in a final is still like a toss up. Like he's not a prohibitive favorite. He could easily win. He could also easily come in third because he's getting up there.
Yeah.
I don't know how well he can.
And
move.
then
he moved pretty well in this challenge.
The next person to finish was, I believe, in fact, Tori.
Yes, Tori beats Camilla.
She did.
Big surprise there, honestly.
Yeah, and Camilla's reason on why she lost was absolutely hilarious. She walked away. It was said like really in passing, but she was walking away. I was like, "It's because Derek didn't let me leave until he got the second bag."
It was all Derek's fault.
God damn it, Derek!
It's always someone else's fault with Camilla.
Kind of dicky though. Why didn't he just let her leave when he saw all the other girls leave?
I didn't even really notice that he did that.
Like honestly, I can't even tell if she's telling the truth. You can't tell. And then that also left.
Then Jordan. They make it seem like it's between Jordan and.
Was it like Tony or somebody?
Jordan. It was Jordan and Derek. But then suddenly, I don't know if they took.
The girls knew that the girls had finished, so they gave like. Kayla actually helped Hunter dig it up and gave him the bag.
Good girl Kayla actually helping out Hunter.
Her worst enemy.
Yeah.
And then so did Jenna. Jenna just helped him.
Jenna actually likes Tony, so that pairing didn't really surprise me.
And they just went there and they had enough.
They made it somewhat close.
They had enough time to start their puzzle.
Now none of them are Mitch, right? So none of them could. Mitch is the greatest puzzle person in the history of the show,
of all time ever.
Yeah. And so they couldn't just do it in like 20 seconds.
If Mitch
make the greatest comeback of all time.
If Mitch was Tony in this situation,
he would have won.
And he was the last person there, I would say there was a 60% chance that he would have won, given the like minute of time that he had compared to Jordan, like 3/4 done with his puzzle.
And it's tangrams, which are so random, and he somehow still would have found a way, probably.
Absolutely, he is just the man. I miss Mitch. So Jordan, and he needs to come back.
Jordan eventually figures out that. I think one of his puzzle pieces actually got lost behind him. He's like, "Oh shit!" It was one of those moments.
Tori
pointed out for him. Yeah. So Jordan ends up getting it done. So then we have Jordan, CT, Kara, and Tori.
Mm-hmm.
Our 4 finalists. Honestly, none of these 4 surprised me at all.
Major chalk.
Tori, even Tori as a rookie, honestly, like I just had that feeling that she was gonna be here at the end, either in the final or one of the last girls gone.
Yeah, by the second episode, like second or third episode, I had a pretty good inkling.
Especially all those Jordan and Tori rumors, that didn't help.
Yeah, because especially that we heard that it happened at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So we knew they at least went far.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Tori, for the first time since he left the house, mentions that she has a boyfriend. Very in passing, like, but Jordan's so sexy, but I have a boyfriend.
Yep. So there's some allusions there to what could happen.
Spoiler alert: is not her boyfriend anymore. It hasn't been her boyfriend for months.
Since
so I think it's becoming very clear what's happening here.
Also, since I believe the show even started airing, right? They're already broken up before episode 1 came out?
Yeah. It's becoming very clear what's happening here. Tori is well involved with these challenge people at this point to waste her time on an Are You the One guy. So
she's got to get the real money.
She's got to get where the real money's at, which is Jordan.
Not to say she's not going to make a little bit of real money herself. She's in the final.
She is in the final. What else did I put here? I put that the final was very chalky, which we just talked about.
Absolutely, and
I was actually surprised. I thought they were going to do a twist where the 4 people who are in the final get to choose one guy and one girl to take with them.
That's what I was hoping.
That's what I was hoping would happen.
Because then it would have been Tony, and Kara would have convinced CT to go with Camilla, and that would be 2 people, and then they would have forced the other 2 people.
Honestly, this is the dirtiest season of all time. That's absolutely what they should have done. I know it's more fair to do another challenge where like the winner gets the last spot, but it's the dirtiest season of all time. Make it come down to some sort of political decision.
My decision was going to be, instead of a group effort, what I thought they should have did was that each person, because there's 6 people there and 4 winners, each person of the winning group gets to just pick one person
to eliminate.
Like Cara, you were the first
so
female.
Cara would have been like,
so
like
Cara,
Kayla bye.
yeah, just boom, Kayla, you're dead. And
then
it would have been
Corey
Tori.
would have probably picked Camilla to
She
go.
would have.
So then it would have been Jenna in that case.
And then the guys would have absolutely just popped the 2 bigger competitors and left Tony.
CT probably would have popped Derek if he was smart, and then Jordan would have popped Hunter probably. So then it would have been Tony most likely.
And then Tony would have
actually, you know what? CT might have popped Tony though, because Tony did kind of screw him over there.
I think CT has a chance.
I couldn't imagine a situation where either of them would be stupid enough though to keep Derek as the third finalist.
Yeah, Derek would be going. It would either be a one-armed man or
like, how can you not pick
a
Tony
crazy
or a
dude
one-armed
that doesn't
man?
know where he is.
Yeah, that would have been next level stupidity if that actually happened. But I still think that that little wrinkle at the end way more interesting to me than another challenge next week.
Absolutely.
Especially like now the guy who's gonna
it just extended another episode so they can make more money.
Like, it's so blatantly obvious that Hunter and Tony are not winning next week
against Derek. You're right, and that's what absolutely sucks.
Hunter has one arm. Tony, no, actually, you know what? Tony did beat Darrell.
Tony did beat Darrell.
So you know what? Maybe we're underselling.
Maybe he's going to be right there on the brink, about to lose, and he's going to start thinking of his kids.
He pulls it out in the clutch. Since that slip up against Ammo, when he needs to get the job done, he does.
Absolutely.
That would be incredible, actually.
Oh my God. I hope there's another kids montage. It will be the second greatest, if not the greatest moment in challenge history. There's another kids moment.
You hear that, people? We want Tony to make the final over Derek.
Absolutely.
That is a hot take.
No, well, it was a hot take as well.
Tony does more in 3 episodes than Derek does in a whole season.
Not a hot take. Just a fact is that Derek is extremely boring and just shouldn't be on the seasons anymore. I bet he was maybe fun 10 years ago. I have no clue because I haven't seen it. I'm sure he was great or whatever. But you know what? Get the hell out of here. I don't need to see you. Yeah, you're boring. You did nothing. The most important thing you did was get punched in the face. So get out of my life.
He did beat Bananas, but
okay, he did do that.
But the thing is that Derek was always good at eliminations, but that's also all he ever does on the show.
Yeah, because he doesn't do anything else. He's also
not a good like gameplay. Like he doesn't really have a strategic mind at all. Him and Leroy are pretty much one and the same.
Where they're just really good at competing.
I don't necessarily like people like that.
Yeah,
I was not a fan of.
This isn't just a competition in terms of physical contest. There's also the whole reality TV section of this, and you got to be and you got to know how to play the game like Bananas or Wes can. You gotta be able to go to that club and have a good time like Nani can. You know, you don't really got to do that, but I want to.
Or you could be Teresa and just let your partner do everything for you.
You could do that, which has happened. Camilla and Jemmy. It would be an example.
You didn't even watch that.
I haven't seen the season. I have no clue, but I just assume. I assume it was a carry job.
Yeah. Camilla and Jemmy together. What do you think happened? Yes, that was absolutely a carry job. What else is there to get into here?
Well, I think
that was really it for the episode.
Yeah.
So the preview for next week, Jordan had a rough landing.
He did.
That's not good.
No, it's not. Which means it's going to be CT or Derek, most likely. Assuming it's Derek. And that's not cool, bro. Because any of those guys, as I said, I want Jordan.
Old school people will absolutely love that, which is funny, but we just do not care at all.
They will. They'll be lighting it up on the Reddits, on Twitter and stuff.
Derek,
oh my God.
The old school battle of the century for the winner of the Dirty 30.
Who's the greatest of all time? Besides Banana.
Derek shouldn't even be anywhere near that conversation as one of the best competitors of all time.
Winning all 3 of his challenges and group events.
The's so much.
I wouldn't know. I haven't.
There's so much more that goes into a great competitor than just being good at the challenges.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I said Banana's the GOAT at the game. All around, he's the best person to ever play the game.
He is.
He's won 6 times.
It hurts, but he is. He's the GOAT.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
100. He's like Tom Brady.
He finds a way to get it done. He's like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, it hurts. Yep. We're Giants fans here.
Yep.
You know, I don't like the guy, but you know what? He's the GOAT. I can't deny it.
And Leroy is Eli Manning minus the rings because he did beat him twice in one season.
Yeah, all right. All right, there you go. But it wasn't in one season. We lost week 17 that one time, 2007.
Oh,
We
yeah.
beat him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but 2 wins over him still.
The two wins.
Has anyone ever beat him twice in a final is what I'm wondering. I don't think so. I think the only person that's ever actually beaten him in a final was CT.
Bananas?
Yes.
How many times has he lost the final?
He's lost, I think, oh God, not that many. I think only once.
Really? So he's made the final 7 times and won 6 times?
I think so, yeah.
And the only time was CT.
Oh, no, you know what? His second season, he was, I'd never even watched that season. That's like the lost season of the challenge in Inferno 3.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was like 2 teams of 10 and 6 people from each team made the final. And Bananas made the final on one of the teams that didn't win.
Okay.
Derek actually was on the winning team.
That's too many competitors.
Derek wasn't even supposed to be on that season. Funny enough, CT punched out Davis because he was going through a phase where he just didn't like gay people for some reason and was coked out of his mind apparently. Derek comes in as his replacement.
Rumors.
Derek comes in as his replacement and ends up winning that season.
Interesting.
His first win.
CT
Derek, and that was also
been CT's first win.
That was also the turning point of Derek losing interest as a compelling character on this show when he started actually winning challenges. As weird as that sounds.
All right.
People are just better at losing. Derek's just a better loser of the challenge. Like his underdog story is great, but it always will build up to him losing in the end. That was what was the mystique. But it lost interest when he just would float through a challenge and win, like he did 3 times.
All right, well,
you haven't seen any of those yet.
I haven't seen any of that. But I think that's just about going to wrap it up for the show. So we're going to go to our closing segment.
Yeah,
to plug a little bit of the
No
Reddit
shade,
that we love so much.
Love you guys.
You guys are great. Some of you make me mad.
Well, yeah.
And you mods.
But you know what? Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a hot take.
And
that's what the show's all about.
you mods for here's my hot take, that I got placed into the spam folder because of all the thumbs down I would get for supporting Camilla on comments, because I tried to post yesterday and I had to request from the mods to be removed from the spam filter.
I do have to give you credit though for getting a +7 on a post talking somewhat positively about Camilla.
It was yeah, you're right. I did get that. People will see what I got a few points in me. You know, I can back her up. She's my girl. So our segment here, we're gonna every week we will
this is just for today. This is just for like the last 2 days, but every week it'll actually be of the week.
Yes, because now we're actually start looking.
Yes.
But this one is literally of the last 2 days because we did it on the spot.
So what we have here is best comment of the week and as well as the sad comment of the week.
Sad comment of the week. Not the worst, but the sad comment.
The sad comment of the week.
So
you want to start off with the
best?
best? Yeah.
The best, absolutely.
So earlier today I made a post that was about how Tori was like Amy Schumer because neither of them are actually funny. And someone
he currently has 40 points. Let me refresh that. Uh-oh, now he's been moved.
So shout out to Recovering Porn Addict. Great name.
Oh, absolutely.
Go back up.
I don't see him.
He's right there.
Oh, okay.
For this was I think this was a very quick comment too, so he's pretty witty. At least Tori's unfunny jokes are actually her own. That is a fantastic comment. That is our comment of the week right there.
42 points already on his
Needs
thumbs.
more, but yeah.
Deserve that. Good on you, Recovering Porn Addict. I hope you get better soon.
Because what he did was agree with me that Tori is unfunny, while at the same time find a way to shit on Amy Schumer even more. So that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was good. The man's got wit.
So our sad post of the week
was on a post done, I believe, yesterday. It was titled "Your Eye Candy" on the challenge. Posted by submitted by Black Anise Can Trap. And our sad comment here, so it was name your eye candy. Everyone was naming who they thought was the most attractive. Some people I'm seeing around here, we see Amanda, young Camilla, we got Isaac. I've seen I personally chose Christina LeBlanc, of course. But a man named it was like EGTZ
19.
Yep. With 3 + 3 actually. His statement was just no nothing else, just 6 letters. Anissa.
Now that is a hot take.
That is a hot take right
If
there.
I've ever seen one. Out of anyone that you could choose.
Now, I'm not saying that she's unattractive, because she's not. She is an attractive woman,
Yes.
I find.
However, there is far...
Of all the
in
women...
the grand scope of things, that's pretty ridiculous.
And
shout out to someone else on here. Scroll down. Cedar Dude 22. After you got called out for your Christina LeBlanc random choice.
Hey, I went from -1 to 0 points, so I went up. Someone gave me a thumb.
That usually just happens.
You're right, it fluctuates.
Yeah. Someone posted Anissa, so let him have this. Which I just thought was hilarious.
Thank you, Cedar.
That's our sad post of the week. The person who said Anissa was their personal eye candy on the challenge. Yeah. Of all the people that they could look at and get pleasure out of looking at on the challenge, it was Anissa.
Now I feel bad, almost.
I feel like we're making fun of it.
Yeah, I guess it just caught us off guard.
Yeah, more than anything.
You know, maybe it's a weak, sad one because it's an opinion and everyone's got one. Yeah, just like how I like Camilla.
We'll have a better one next
which
week,
could be
sure.
a sad opinion.
Your opinion is honestly any post that you would have made on Camilla would have been a candidate on this.
I haven't made one recently though.
Well, if you did, it would have been a candidate on this, I think.
Absolutely, probably would have been. So that, you know what also could have been a positive one of the week? The one that I posted about Camilla that got 7 thumbs.
Yeah.
Oh, that could have been, but we've already done it.
But that Tory thing was really
It was good. It was good. So we'll give it to him. So that will conclude our inaugural episode.
Thanks, guys. If you somehow made it this far, thanks for listening.
This is really long.
It won't. And normally, most weeks won't be this long. I would hope so.
It won't be because we did have 20 minutes of prequel rambling before the show actually started. So thank you for anyone who made it this long in our inaugural MTV The Challenge Takes. Total time is 1 hour and 2 minutes. So that's awesome that you guys made it this far on our Challenge Takes podcast. That's cool. Thanks for listening.
See you guys on the Reddits. I'm on there all the time, as you could probably tell.
Yeah, he's there all the time. You won't see me that much. You will mostly see me type "Boo, Brian sucks" or something like that on anything Brian comments on. So now you understand why I might say "Boo, Brian sucks" and not like "Boo, Panda sucks" or something. So there you have it. It was cool. Thank you for listening. If you guys like it, give us some feedback. And don't tell us to shorten it, because we know we need to shorten it. This was way too long.
And don't tell us.
Trust us.
And don't tell us to change our opinions or our hot takes, because that is the whole point of this whole thing.
Yeah, don't. I mean, you guys can really say what you want, but I guess what I'm saying is don't waste your breath, because you're not going to make me change my opinion about Camilla. The only thing that's going to change my opinion on Camilla is me over time, and we will have to see about that. And honestly, if this is the last time I'm ever going to see her, and my opinion hasn't changed because she'd be blackballed from the show, then it's never going to change. It will stand forever.
Fair enough.
So that's what it is. But seriously, comment anything you guys wanna hear or something, or you thought that was cool. Whatever. It's been cool, guys.
Take it easy.
Thank you.